Chapter 11. Isabella. Calm down, I demanded my wolf. She pushed me to run faster and faster until I found myself standing outside Vanessa's secluded cabin on the outskirts of Roman's property. I needed someone to talk to about this, preferably female, because I wasn't sure if Derek would understand. After knocking, I waited a few moments. She appeared in a skimpy set of red lingerie with a bottle of wine in her hand and a huge grin on her face. "Lindsay, you're—" she started. When she caught sight of me, she stopped and widened her eyes. "Oh, Isabella." She gazed down at my naked body, her cheeks flushing pink. "Come in. I'm not bothering you, am I?" She handed me a silky black robe from her faux velvet couch, and I pulled it on to cover my body. "Don't worry about it. I didn't have any plans for tonight." She set her wine down on the table, sent a quick text, and grabbed another robe from her room to cover herself. "What's wrong?" "I need someone to talk to," I said. My whole world felt like it was falling apart. Not only was my wolf hung up on Kylo for some ungodly reason, but also all I could feel was Roman's pain when I sprinted away from him. I loved him with my entire heart, and I didn't want to lose him over this senseless feeling inside of me. "Come on," she said, nodding to the other room. I followed her to the kitchen, gazing around her small, cozy home. For someone who had made my life in high school absolute hell, I hadn't expected her house to be so homey. A vanilla candle burned on the counter as she popped the cork on the wine. She had cute little moonflowers on her windowsill, just like I did at home, and there were a variety of pictures on her refrigerator. I ambled over to it, gazing at each one as she poured us wine. There was a picture of her and Jane hugging each other in their pink pajamas, and one of her training with the Warriors, and near the top of the fridge was a picture of her and me on the night that I'd become leader of the Lycans. "This is so cute." I smiled at the picture, feeling warm on the inside. After handing me a glass of wine, she tied the robe tighter around her tiny waist and shifted back and forth on her feet. "That was the best night of my life." "That night was the best night of your life?" I asked. "We had been chased by hordes of rogues." She grinned at me, looped her arm around mine, and rested her head on my shoulder. "But I had the chance to work with you for the first time." She brushed her thumb against the image. "It was the first night that I felt like you appreciated me and looked at me differently." She frowned and turned toward me. "Isabella, I never told you this, but I'm sorry for making your life hell in high school." "It's okay," I said. "Our relationship was much better now, despite everything." She shook her blonde hair. "No, it's not. I made your life literal hell." I let out a laugh, which felt good after what had happened back at the pack house. "Yeah, you did. But the past is the past. We're good now." Light from the candle flickered against her tan face as she smiled and tugged me to the living room, where we collapsed onto the couch. She nudged me. "Tell me what happened. What's wrong?" My lips parted and quivered. I placed the wine down on the coffee table and curled my knees to my chest. "Roman," I croaked out. My heart ached so damn bad at the thought of hurting him and at the thought of him killing Kylo. A tree branch hit the window, and I pressed a hand to my chest. Vanessa frowned at me and pushed some hair from my face, enveloping me into a hug. "It's just the wind. Go on." My body trembled as I curled up next to her. "I love him. I love him so fucking much that it hurts to hurt him," I whispered. "But my wolf is drawn to another wolf. She can't help herself when it comes to him. She feels so connected for some reason." Vanessa tensed for a moment and then stroked my hair. She parted her lips to say something, but then snapped them shut. I didn't expect her to say anything because if I were her, I wouldn't know what to say either. Instead, She let me cry some more in her arms and nudged me when I calmed down. Let's take your mind off of Roman for a couple hours. We can watch my favorite show. I pushed away my last tear and arched a brow. And what's that? Murder mystery? I curled my arm around hers. Of course it is. Sunlight blazed through the sheer orange curtains. I woke up on the couch with an aching back and a sore neck. Vanessa was lying on top of me, her eyes closed peacefully and her head on my stomach. My lips curled into a small smile. I didn't feel better, but I was glad that I had a friend. These past few weeks had been so lonely. So many people depended on me, and so many people only talked to me because they needed something from me. I hadn't hung out with Derek at all because our schedules didn't line up. So I blew out a deep breath. I needed this. Careful not to wake Vanessa, I slid off the couch and ran to the Night Raiders Cafe to pick up her favorite chocolate strudel. After placing it on her coffee table and leaving a thank you note, I ran to the Lycans property to find Raj. So much had happened last night that I needed to tell him about. Sitting in my office with one ankle propped up on his knee, he tapped his fingers to a beat on my desk. Morning, killer. I have information. He arched a brow at me. You look like shit. No offense. None taken. I collapsed into my chair. I probably should have gone back to the pack house, so Roman knew I was okay, but I couldn't get myself to see him this morning. Roman and I had a fight over Kylo last night. He told me that Kylo has a flower called the Wolf's Flower, which could kill a wolf born under the wolf's moon. He thinks that Kylo will try to use it on me. Raj blew out a deep breath. Why didn't we know about this? Riker probably knew about it, I said, shaking my head at the thought of him keeping so much from us. Either way, we can't let Roman get it or let Kylo keep it. It is safest with the Lycans. You don't trust Roman with it? No, he'll kill our Kylo. I tensed and swallowed hard, cheeks flushing. Our Kylo? After pushing my wolf out of my mind, I sat up taller. He can't have it. Raj sat back and furrowed his brows, intertwining his brown fingers. If he has that flower, and it really does what Roman says it does, I don't think you should attend the party. I know I said that you should go, but I don't want you to be in danger, and I'm sure that Roman won't let you go after finding that out. Yet something inside me told me that Kylo wasn't a threat to me. Kylo won't hurt me. He hadn't hurt me at the meeting. He hadn't hurt me during the battle. He hadn't killed me last night. Why would he wait until the party? Wouldn't he want to kill me in front of Roman where he could gloat in glory? I'm going, I said, making up my mind. I need to find out his true intentions and about why I was so attached to him. Maybe the moon goddess or one of the divine wolves would have some insight about us.
You've reached the end of this episode. Thanks for listening. To get up to 4 weeks additional uncensored content, subscribe to the podcast at reamstories.com/AmeliaRoseAudio. Due to content restrictions, explicit sex scenes will only be available through Ream. But if you'd like to continue listening to my free episodes, make sure to hit the follow button to receive updates.